Hi, it's John Flynn with Copley Advertising. Today we're going to talk about corporate culture. Now I'm always talking about corporate culture. Why? Why do I talk about corporate culture all the time? Well, first, it's very important. it's like one of those things that can make you a lot of money with little effort. Like little effort, and it make your business so much more productive and allow you to hire much better talent, and just all around be a happier place if you if you put in some corporate culture tactics in to make everybody happier and more productive. And it doesn't cost very little. I mean, first of all, the biggest problem is that the founders and the CEO and the board of directors really have to be on the same page with this, because they're the ones who are going to dictate down. All right, so it's like nobody's going to come up through the ranks without the permission of the CEO, founder, and the board of directors and change the way the company works internally. Just not going to happen. So what do you do? Well, the people who are founded and in charge of the company really have to have a very working knowledge of what the corporate culture is for that particular company. Now, you could have any particular corporate culture. I mean, you could have a corporate culture where the place is horrible to work for. That's fine. But, just be aware of it, because you're going to attract a certain amount of people to do that. And, if you're just trying to squeeze as much out of each individual for as lowest price possible, that's your corporate culture. That's fine. As long as you realize what's happening, because you are in control of how your company is perceived on the outside in and also on the inside out. So, I mean, those are things that you control. So, you can't look the other way and have them just go on a willy-nilly thing. You have to take ownership of those things and decide where you want to go. So, my motto has always been, or not always, my motto is I like to hire people who are much smarter than I am. I give them the tools to do smart things. Once a week we meet and they tell me how smart they are. And then, that's oh, and I give them free candy. That's it. That's how I run. Now, I do the freelance model right now, which works for me. So I have 7 freelancers around the world: Bangladesh, India, United States, Canada, everywhere. And they each have a certain job that they do. Now, I'm not going to brag, but my reviews in Upwork have always been very stellar. Why? Because it's the same thing I've mentioned, is that I hire very bright people. If I have to pay a little more for them, I will. I give them a task that I don't understand as well as they do, because that's their specialty. I got to remember that. It's their specialty, not my specialty. That's why I hired them. I really firmly believe that most people want to do a good job. Most people really wake up in the morning and not say, I don't want to do it. They do. They want to go. What they do? They want to go. They want to go to work, right? And they ask for so little. It's like they'd be happy with a neutral workplace. Not some place. It doesn't have to be happy, but a place that's not trying to overtly screw them. Told the goal. We need to plant the flag here, and then use their skill set to do it. It seems pretty simple to me, but I think what happens, especially in corporations, that actually have employees in buildings and things like that, which is that a lot of ego gets in the way. I'm the boss. I have to go out and yell at people. Now it's Tuesday. I have to bring some to my office and yell at them. It's Friday. Because that's what I saw on TV. That's what I did in Mad Men. Yep, Mad Men. I saw the episode. So I mean, a lot of that goes on. And then they oh, my employees really like me. They don't. You're a jerk. Why you would think they like you? Plus, it's not your job to be liked. Okay, it's not their job to like you. They got enough to go through. Don't worry about them liking you. They got their own stuff in their lives. Don't worry about it. What you need to do or at least I do, is that my first job is to pay them. My first job is that they do work for me, I make sure they get a check. That's my job, okay? And I gotta make sure that happens. So that's the first job. The second job is that I try to give people an environment that you're smarter than I am, you know better than I do about this. Here, go do what you need to do. And then that's it. And, you know, on Fridays, they may send me an email saying, this is done, or, you know, this is what we're doing, and half the time I don't know what the hell they're talking about, and then they send it to me, and then I say, thank you. And I give it to the other person up the chain, and I say, does this work? They're like, oh yeah. And I'm like, there you go. Mission accomplished. There, 3 emails. That's it. $10,000 project, 3 emails. You know, why would I want to be involved in that process? I mean, why would I like call Wednesday afternoon and go, how's it going? What are you doing? I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing. All I know is what I want to be done. And he said he could do it. So I'm like, okay, it's not good review. So this is the thing. I mean, these are the kind of things you have. I mean, millennials are smart. Okay, people can keep bashing millennials. You know, oh, they're lazy. They're not lazy. They're smart. They don't want to work for you. You're boring. You not only boring. You're detrimental. You're negative. You know, live in this world that you don't want new ideas, and anything new is bad, and you have to like go up the ladder 800 times and to idiots who come down and go, you know, moronic things. They don't want that. They don't want that. They want to come work for me because I will pay them. And then I will say, hey, you're smarter than I am. Hi, you are hired to do this. What do you think? And they're like, okay. And I'm like, okay. Go have fun. Oh, there's free candy and coffee over there. Oh, free candy as much as you like. If the candy runs out, you call me. I'll go to the CVS and get you more. There. Hey, you know, I say, well, you know, once a week, try to, you know, contact me. Let me know how's it going. And I like it by this date. And then, you know, 90+% of the time that's worked out. And then I get good reviews in Upwork because they're like, oh, it's very clear. Oh, what do you want? And you leave me the fuck alone. And he paid me. What else do you want? And I'm like, there you go. So, you know, people will work for me now in Upwork because they read the review and they're like, yeah, I'll work for him. So, you know, just respect. You know, you're hiring people to do a job. Basically, either you can't or you don't have time. So, you know, it's in your best interest to treat them well. So, you know, as my company's growing, I'm flirting with different ideas, and I'm really feeling very strongly about not having a center location, not having an office, quote unquote. I mean, there's too much talent around the world. I mean, I love Boston. Boston's great people. But in a sense of talent, you know, I mean, some guy in Spain is better at something than some guy in Paraguay. Then I'll take the guy in Spain. You know, and you know, give people the option because you know, I'm not one to need to interact with people. But you know, if they want to go to WeWork or something in their town or one of those office sharings, I'll pay for it and they can go and just. And then, you know, I'll mail them free candy. Oh, yes, I will. You think I'm kidding? I'm not. Big box M&Ms will come their way. Maybe some bags of coffee. Here you go. So, you know, that's what I'm thinking. But corporate culture is ever so important and ever so easy. Those are 2 things you could really fix with your company and make it much better, much faster, is corporate culture. Okay, they're not your friends. They're your employees. They're smart people. Let them do their jobs. And, you know, if there's a problem, you just go, you know, I this guy, he's a great video editor, you know. And, you know, he's blowing his budget every week. I gave him a budget, he's blowing it. And I was like, listen, you know, I can't do this. You gotta reel it in. And then, you know, the next week he blew the budget and I was like, we're done. So, you know, I don't know why people do what they do. I don't know why he did what he did, but you know, it was done, and you know, to hire someone else in that scenario. But I mean, I work. I don't. I mean, it didn't happen that fast. I mean, I don't want people to think it's like, oh, I really try to get in people's heads. I really try to like take my time. You know, maybe you're having a bad day. You know, kind of leash it out. What's your thought process here? You know, maybe I'm not reading something correctly. You know, and I try and I try very hard. And then what I do is I make clear goals and I make them smaller and smaller and smaller. So it's easier to accomplish. And then if I can't accomplish those goals in a very tiny level, then there's a systematic problem, which I try to address. But if I can't, it's a business and we got to move on. So, but corporate culture, you can make it wonderful. Free candy. John Flynn, Copley Advertising.